Conor McGregor, the aftermath, and what is next, knuckleheads. That was a devastating loss for McGregor on Saturday night. We didn't go live, but we're here now. As you know, we're preparing for Fighters Rep 10, so things are getting a little bit more hectic. But wow, big loss for Conor McGregor. A complete change of attitude. And it doesn't look like it really helped him, to be honest. Lot to unpack here, but first and foremost, that shift in persona, the shift in attitude, it really came off as forced this time. The last fight, he was super friendly with Poirier. Didn't work out with him. It looks like he tried switching up strategies and being the aggressive, mean Conor that he was in their first fight. Maybe he thought it would give him the same result he achieved in the first fight. But instead we had, an unfortunate leg break. Listen, Conor was doing okay. He was doing okay in this fight until it got taken to the ground. And then it was all Dustin Poirier. And I want to say, we keep seeing guys' legs getting broken, especially in MMA. Throwing these low kicks, throwing these kicks to the legs. Listen, it's a risky strike, and I've indicated that at FightersRep, because of the IKF, our sanctioning body, that low kicks, basically any kick below the knee or at the knee, is illegal. I do believe that will increase the longevity of fighters' careers. I think as we continue to watch MMA, we'll continue to watch guys who are not, really adept at these sort of strikes continue to suffer debilitating and potentially career-ending injuries. And, on Saturday night, Conor, I think it was wear and tear that occurred probably in the fight, but who knows, that, compromised his shin, or very low on the shin, close to the ankle. To me, it looked like still it was the shin. And it was similar to the Chris Weidman and Anderson Silva injury. And, as much as I love Anderson Silva, because of his age combined with that injury, I just felt like he was never the same when he came back. I don't think Chris Weidman at his age is going to be the same when he comes back. And even though Conor is younger, I just think this injury is so devastating. I think it's so devastating that you just don't really come back from this injury 100%. I could be wrong, but it's, part of the reason why I just don't like those low kicks too much, especially when you don't know exactly what you're doing. A lot of these MMA fighters, for whatever reason, are just throwing these leg kicks recklessly, man. And listen, when you do that, you run the risk of going bone on bone with guys that have been throwing these kicks for a long time. You also run the risk of getting into a, shin kicking match against guys that have been doing this a long time. And I've said it before on this channel. There are guys here in our area, here in California, in Southern California, that made a career out of going in there and smashing people's legs to bits. And, if you're a career-long, lifelong wrestler, jiu-jitsu practitioner, or whatever, and you've got some decent boxing, and you go in there with a guy who's been breaking legs his entire life, you got to really be careful, man. You got to really be careful. I'm thinking this will be a lesson, but, Chris Weidman should have been. You know what I mean? I felt like the Silva one was the first time we really saw it, and it was almost like a fluke, but now it's happening a lot more often. Is MMA striking getting worse? I mean, what's happening here? That being said, listen, what Conor said about Dustin Poirier's wife and family and stuff like that, it's kind of the same thing with what he did with Habib and the religion and everything like that. I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of that at all. If he wants to play the villain role, which he's definitely playing a role because he thinks it's going to get him more money, that's fine. But he's also got to realize there are consequences with that sort of behavior, right? And, it didn't really seem to give him an advantage in this last fight. Dustin Poirier didn't really seem too affected by it. Maybe it works at the lower levels, But I think at the elite levels, these guys will just eat it up. But who knows? He also had a great, reaction out of Jose Aldo and was successful at that. I just think against Dustin Poirier, it's not going to work. So, and it turned off a lot of people. It turned off a lot of people in the media. It turned off a lot of fans. It turned off a lot of people. At the same time, I got a lot of people talking about him, So it's kind of a weird situation, He's playing the villain role. It's something that, Floyd Mayweather and others before him did with success. He's definitely had success with it. I just felt like it was forced in this fight. I felt like he probably turned a lot of people off, but got a lot of people's attention at the same time. And, Ronda Rousey said something to the effect of, if you're looking for basically role models, this is not the sport for you. And I think she's sort of right on that. At the same time, though, you don't want to completely turn off the fan base. It's just very inconsistent what he's doing. On top of that, I want to talk about what's next for him. Again, I don't know if he'll come back from that injury. I just don't know. I'd be interested to see his next fight. He's lost most of his last few fights at this point. I'm interested to see who he fights next and how that leg holds up and if he could even move the same and be the same person. In my opinion, he'll probably reach 80, 90% of what he was with that sort of injury, if that. It's unfortunate. You never want to see someone go out like that. You don't want to see a career end like that. But if that is his last fight, that's not a good way to go out with the way he was disrespecting, Poirier's wife and Poirier and the sport and everything else. We'll see, man. We'll see what happens. I just don't think it was a great ending for Conor McGregor. And again, I hope I'm wrong. I hope he could come back and be 100%, but I just don't see it. Dustin Poirier, goes on, I'm sure, to fight Oliveira. Very good chance of winning that fight. Poirier's a beast, but so is Oliveira, so I look forward to that one. Poirier's a good guy. It's incredible. It's incredible what our society cheers and what our society jeers. I'm not sure how you could hate on a guy like Poirier, but people manage to do it. Very weird situation, so that's my opinion on the matter. As you guys know, Fighters Rep 10 is coming. It's coming fast, August 13th. We're a month away. If you haven't gotten your tickets, get them in the link below or at FightersRep.com. You'll also be able to access the live stream right here just by joining the channel. It's just going to be $9.99. And you get to watch some of the best fighters you've ever seen in your life and some of the best fights and the best rules that you'll ever see, man. These guys stand and bang it out, and it's incredible. I look forward to hearing what you guys think about this situation. Let me know in the comment below if you think McGregor comes back or not. After you do that, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, man. Help me continue to grow this. Also, be sure to get your Fighters Rep gear in the link below. I'm about to head out to Six Side Muay Thai to get an interview with Oscar Mueller, who's going to be fighting the Korean Pitbull on August 13th at Fighters Rep 10. Again, get your tickets in the link below or at FightersRep.com.